Good evening, friends. The power just went out at my house, and I thought, what better time to usher in spooky season than by lighting some candles and beading by candlelight. I'm in the mood for spooks, and I'm going to open up the Gone Batty kit that I organized in another video, and we're going to do some spooky earrings with our Batman bat charms. And we're going to get our glittery bat guy. Oh, with this bat. Zippity bat. Let's get some black beads, some of our beautiful chain, and let's grab some creature of the night kind of. No, not those guys. How about I can go with that one. I know. These two. This one's going to have some of these. I'm just making decisions as I go for what I want to add. Let's get some glitter for some moonlight. Yeah, those rondelles will be great in between some things. I don't know if we'll do those spacers. Maybe these spacers will be on something else. Anyway, I'm definitely ready to start making Halloween-y themed spooky things. All right, friends, let's do this. Let's get some more of these faceted black beads. So I'm going to be using them in between these guys. Get a lobster clasp and our ear wires. Okay, I think this will be good for tonight. Spooky. I'm really hoping this shows up because my camera is supposed to have really good low light, you know, filming. I've got the black onyx Softflex wire. I'm going to string that and then connect it to the chain that came in the kit with the bat and my glitter bomb. Then we'll do some fun stuff with this. Maybe some wire. I have some, where's my black Softflex wire? You know what, I've got gold wire. That will work. That's silver. There we go. Yeah, to get that on there. And then we've got the crimp tubes, and I've got some jewelry making tools. I've got my magical crimper for crimping my wire. I've got these guys for cutting my wire. They're my flush cutters. Whoop. I've got some round nose pliers in case I need to make some loops or something like that. Then I have my chain nose pliers, which I could not do anything without. All right, let's get some wire and start figuring out. Oh yeah, like that. Let's have the bulby end pointed out away from that. Then I want these on either side of those, the smaller beads. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. This is 100% going to work. So I'm going to take my Softflex wire and I'm going to string it onto this and then go through this guy and then off in either direction. So I'm going to pull this out, get my bat in the center of this. Actually, the best way to do this, I think, would be to go through with both ends of my wire and pull it almost all the way through, and then put it through this loop. This is just a lark's head knot. I'm going to pull this tight because that'll cinch in this beading wire. Ellen, it's okay. I thought you were asleep. Why can't you sleep through this? And now I'm going to slide this beautiful glittery pearly boho bead. If I can find the holes. It's okay, sweet girl. Oh no, is that the holes? There we go. Both ends of my wire through that, and bring it right down to my bat. You know, I think instead of that, I'm going to do something different for that wire. Let me undo this. I'm going to grab a jump ring for this bat. Oh, why are you whining? Oh, but you can see everything. We have a lights. And you would normally be asleep now anyway, sweet girl. There we go. So I can just string it. All right. Let's see if we can see me doing detail-y things with this lighting. I'm going to open and close this jump ring and then put this on. Right there. Close this out. I know that there are probably some of my friends who are in parts of the country where their power outage is probably going to last a lot longer than mine is. And I want those who've been affected by the hurricane to know that I am thinking about them. This is just probably going to be very brief for me. And I know I'm having fun with it. But anyone who is without power or water or who've lost their homes, I'm hoping that they'll be able to make it through that. Sorry to get serious for a minute, but it's important to mention that. Okay, so now my pear-shaped beads, I'm going to put right there next to that on both sides. And then we're going to go rondelle, fire polish rondelle. Like this. And I will, of course, take some photos in proper light so you can see how it turns out. But this is our first spooky season beading for this year. I realized that probably black beads were not the smartest thing to do in a blackout, but you know what? It's the theme. And there's a ton of shadows from my candles and my lantern. I do have a lantern on. This is a great time to talk about emergency preparedness. Do you guys have water and food and external power sources to charge your devices with if the power goes out? Because even though we're pretty far inland here, we rarely get hit with hurricanes, but I am in a state that does get affected by hurricanes. And sometimes it's not just hurricanes. Sometimes the power goes out because I feel like the people who run the state power grid just forgot to pay the bill or something. All right. Oof. Now I'm gonna need to figure out how much chain I want to use. So let me take this and see where it'll sit on my neck, right there. Okay, and I'm going to take this and put it behind my neck so it ends about there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just cut this chain there. And then I'll fold this in half. A little piece of spare wire here, because that way I can find the center of this chain. It looks like it is this link right here. So let's go ahead and clip that. Dead center. And I have 2 equal lengths of my chain. And I can attach my beading wire to each of these ends. All right, so now I've got my crimp tube. And it's difficult to see, I know, because it's black crimp on a black wire. And it's a blackout. But I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. And then I'm going to go through one of these little loops on this chain with my beading wire. And go back into my crimp bead. Like so. Alright. Now this is going to be probably a little more difficult to see. But I'm going to do some crimping. You want to center your crimper over your crimp. And then give it a smush. And it'll do all of your corners. When you turn it at different angles and give it additional smushes, it will round out your crimp. And you'll have a nice little ball of crimp. And that's a little bit not so nice, probably because I didn't center it. Because it's very dark here. My second one will be better, I promise. Oh, all of my beads fell off. Okay, that's fine. I'll put them back on. You're okay, Ellen. You'll just be sad if I let you outside because our light doesn't work. Sometimes I think Ellen believes that I am in charge of the lights because she has been known to, when she's laying watching outside and it gets dark out, she has been known to whine at me about it getting dark. Just because I can turn lights on inside the house doesn't mean I'm in charge of the lights outside of the house. Except for the porch light, because I turn that one on when she needs to go outside and chase frogs. I know! I'm almost done, sweet girl. I don't want to use up all my battery on this recording. There we go. You think so? And I should have put another bead on the other side of this. Because the rondelle kind of gets a little bit in the way of this crimping. I know. Hold on, sweet girl. My chain is also getting a little bit in the way. Trying to do this by feel more than anything. Yeah, that's going to be good enough for me. Good enough for me. All right. But yeah, the Gone Batty kit is spooktacular. I love all of the bats and the themes. I am going to go grab some more jump rings to attach this lobster clasp to the end of this chain. That is not a jump ring. Here we go. These are just gunmetal. Where's the split at? I found it. There we go. Open up the jump ring, put on my lobster clasp. And there is a loop on the other end of this that I can just connect this lobster clasp to. I don't need to add another jump ring to it. That'll go through like that. So, I am the knight. Right, let's get some of this craft wire. I think I want to add another bead to this. Let's grab one of these sparkly squares. Let's do these squares in between those. These two guys. And you know what? I don't want to use this 18 gauge wire that I've got. Let's grab, oh, that's 20 gauge. That's not, that's fine. That's perfect. I thought it was 18 gauge, but it's not. And this just warms up the craft wire. I don't have to warm it up too much though, because the air conditioning is off. And if you weren't aware of where I live, it is Texas. And so, because it is Texas, we need to have air conditioning in October because the high today was like 90 something. So the wire is already pretty warm. So all I'm going to do up here is about 2.5 to 3 inches from the top. I'm going to bend my wire back, bring it forward, and then I'm going to do myself a little bit of a wrapped loop right here. It doesn't need to be a big wrapped loop. Yes. I'm going to go about 1 to twice, and a little extra for good measure, the amount of wire that I normally do for a link that has 2 wrapped loops, because I'm going to keep wrapping around these beads. When I do this, I'm going to want a little more space between my beads as well. So for my second loop, instead of holding at the end of my chain nose pliers, I'm going to hold it closer to the handles because that's a little more space. I usually leave some space there so that I can do my wrapping, but I want some space to exist between these beads as well. So I'm going to bend that back away from me, grab my round nose pliers, pull that loop toward me, open the pliers, move this back around, and before I start wrapping it, I'm going to attach my bat charm. Now I'm going to do about 3 wraps here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to pinch this fire polish bead right there and bring this wire around the front. And then I'm going to pinch this square bead right here, bring this wire around the front. And I'm going to pinch this other fire polish bead right there, bring the wire around the front, and then wrap it up there around the top, like that. Cut off my excess, tuck in my wire end. Now I can attach this ear wire. This is the ear wire that came with the kit. When I wear these ear wires, I do need to make sure I have an earring back on there because my ears are weird and it tends to like slide right out. But if I need to switch ear wires, I can do that later. So the question is, do I make my second earring with y'all, or do I go pay attention to Ellen because she might be a little bit weirded out by everything being different? And then I can make my second one later. I think that's what I'm going to choose to do. Anyway, I hope you are having a spooky night and that you are safe and well. Happy beading.